Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and Experience was in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTA on. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Federal government finalizes plans to provide credit facilities to farmers across Nigeria to enhance food sufficiency.
We are confident that the proper implementation of this program will contribute significantly to the upliftment.
Federal government flags off 774,000 jobs for vulnerable Nigerians. Chief of the Air Staff hosts U.S. Air Force Secretary tackling security challenges in Nigeria tops agenda. Plus, no 50% increase in electricity tariff. Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission clears the air. Hello and welcome to Network News at 9, reaching you live from Abuja. I'm Ian Ray John. Reading with me tonight is Hingino John Adams in our Lagos studio, while Sadia Umar Digi will be joining us later from Sokoto. Thanks for joining us. Arrangements have been finalized by the federal government, who was providing credit facilities to 5.4 million farmers across Nigeria for enhanced agricultural production in the new year. This came to light during a high-level strategic engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on the state of the nation and the way forward. State House correspondent Adamo Sambo has the details.
For the first time in the year 2021, President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo discussed at length the implementation of the Economic Sustainability Plan, especially the Mass Agriculture Scheme. 5.4 million farmers already identified and geo-referenced to their farmlands, the meeting resolved will soon be granted loans, especially those that have access to irrigation facilities towards boosting agricultural production. Also discussed is the mass housing component of the plan, which aims to construct 300,000 affordable houses across Nigeria. Vice President Osinbajo had last Saturday inspected a prototype of the housing unit at Dede, which will cost not more than 2 million naira, such that even low-income earners can participate in the mortgage scheme. Another interesting aspect of the sustainability plan, which was highlighted at the meeting, was the provision of 5 million solar home systems, which is to commence with loan disbursements to the providers this January. The planned expansion of the social investment program, ongoing disbursement of assistance to MSMEs, amongst others, which the Economic Sustainability Committee is monitoring under the VP's chairmanship, were also analyzed. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed their conviction that unless the severe deficit in infrastructure is addressed effectively, efforts at achieving sustainable development will come to naught. This was while receiving an audience the visiting State Councillor and Foreign Minister of the People's Republic of China, Mr. Wang Yi. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu again has the report.
President Muhammadu Buhari thanked the People's Republic of China for its support to Nigeria in various ways, especially in the construction and rehabilitation of rail, road, and power infrastructure, amongst others. China, he said, is helping Nigeria to reduce its severe infrastructural deficit, for which his administration remains grateful. As the president puts it, there cannot be sustainable development without infrastructural development. President Buhari therefore pledged that Nigeria would continue to honor its obligations in the highly beneficial relationship with China, which he said is making a big difference in the country. The Chinese Foreign Minister, Mr. Wang Yi, applauded what he called the mutual trust and sound personal friendship between President Muhammadu Buhari and President Xi Jinping of China. He said as China begins this year's diplomatic work with Africa, Nigeria was chosen deliberately as the first port of call. The year, he explained, marks the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Mr. Wang Yi described Nigeria as a country with great regional and international influence. Nigeria and China, he noted, trust, understand, support, and indeed value each other. The Chinese Foreign Minister said his country would encourage its companies to increase their investments in Nigeria while sharing experience and techniques in areas like digital economy, defense, and many others. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Similarly, the Nigeria-China Intergovernmental Committee has been formalized to address issues hampering mutual cooperation for development among the two nations. Foreign Desk Correspondent Usman Aliyu now reports.
The Asian superpower and the Africa's economic giant meet to formalize new deals for much more mutual benefits on cooperation. The Chinese, now a major force in building the economy of Africa, is again changing history in the continent on trade, technology, and loans to fund infrastructure, and it says it will ensure equality in the renewed relations. That means these bilateral talks is to address many of these challenges of development which Nigeria is facing in her efforts to diversify the economy. But at present, export of agricultural produce from Nigeria to China is very difficult because of high tariff. For instance, peanut and sesame attract between 70 to 50% tariff, the burden which is unbearable for farmers to gain value for the produce. These are some of the issues which the Nigeria-China Intergovernmental Committee is expected to look into.
We analyze global affairs as well, the support of each other, reciprocal support in multilateral organizations, and our joint efforts to ensure a stable, fair global system.
Dealing with COVID-19 is also of interest here.
With the vaccine discoveries now, China is also one of those countries that has been able to develop vaccines for COVID, and so we're also engaging with China to also help with regards to access to vaccines.
It has been 50 years of diplomatic relations between Nigeria and the People's Republic of China, but their commitments at the moment represent enormous opportunities which the two nations will enjoy at the discretion of decisions of the higher authorities. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
In other news, the extended special public works designed to empower 1,000 unemployed vulnerable persons in each of the 774 councils of the Federation has been flagged off in Abuja. Correspondent Emmanuel Ayemiro reports that the Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, who flagged off the 3-month program coordinated by the National Directorate of Employment, urged beneficiaries to bear in mind the need to become self-reliant after the program.
A joyful Sada too, a widow and mother of 5 children from Abuja Municipal Area Council of the FCT, has already figured out how to utilize the starter pack provided to her by government to support people like her under Extended Special Public Works. She is among the 1,000 beneficiaries in the 6 councils of the FCT.
As you can see, look at many farming something here. With farm, I can unable to get many things out of here. Not until I say this bag. All this will be wheezing at the farm.
After these 3 months, my plan is since I learned this aluminium work with the support of this, I can save my money, to establish maybe small business.
The program is for the maintenance of public infrastructure. Every local government is to identify any preferred project of their choice.
We have, for instance, requests by certain local governments to say, look, they are going to provide cups of paints for us, but we engage the 1,000 persons to paint their primary schools. Amongst the 1,000 persons, they are not just itinerant workers who are unskilled. We may have amongst them carpenters and the like.
For us at the NDE, we are confident that the proper implementation of this program will contribute significantly to the upliftment and provision of succor to unemployed Nigerians.
Apart from the transparent and proper documentation of all participants already captured by designated banks with supervisors appointed in all electoral wards of the country, the concern raised is the exit strategy of the program. The Extended Special Public Work starts from January the 5th and will last to 4th day of April 2021. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Now, joining me live in the studio to shed more light on the Extended Special Public Works is the Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so let's begin. The program is expected to run for 3 months. What is the plan for these trainees after the 3 months program?
Well, after the 3 months program, we are thinking of different exit strategies. There are proposals on the table, but that is secondary to us. Now, the primary duty is to engage them in the maintenance of public infrastructure. Before I answer your question, the main task now is to ensure that every 1,000 persons we have selected from every local government is fully engaged in the maintenance of public infrastructure.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of headlines saying that we're engaging them to go and clear gutters. That is not correct. It is not even restrictive to a particular task in a local government. Every local government has its own unique needs. Some will be traffic control, some will be, like you said, drainage clearance, some will be the maintenance of the Great Green Wall. So we participate in even patching of rural roads and on like that. So it depends on the need of that particular local government. So now we are collaborating as directed by Mr. President with different levels of government. State governments also have, access to these workers. So it's not only federal infrastructure. So long as it's government infrastructure, public infrastructure, they will be engaged to manage this and maintain this public infrastructure. Even the local government at that level. Like you heard when what I was saying during the lunch today. Some local governments said, look, they'll provide paints. They want to paint their primary schools. The problem has always been, how would they...
So what you're saying in essence is that they're likely to be absorbed by either the local governments or the state governments at the end of the day. Is that...
Well, for those who want, even private sector may.
Okay.
The federal government may also think of an exit strategy where they may move them to a massive agricultural program. The government has a lot of them on the table, so they can move them. Because what we have now is a database of those who are itinerant workers, who are laborers. No government in the history of Nigeria, none, I mean none, has targeted that level of the economy, the very bottom of the economy, the laborers. These are the people when you see every day who depend on daily pay. I hope you know people survive on daily pay.
Yes.
They are laborers.
So that brings me to my next question.
Yes.
How do you ascertain the level of these people? How are you sure that they're vulnerable? How are you sure that these people do not have one source of livelihood and probably just looking for a way to get government intervention?
Well, that is why we localize the selection process. We did not sit there in Abuja here and assumed that we were able to select everybody from everywhere. We also did not go online. Most selection process, people think they are always online. Online will be that you cannot, first of all, get your target participants. The target participants in this case are people who do not even have access to internet. They are laborers.
Okay.
So we made sure we localize the selection process. It brought a bit of rumpus, but I stood my ground and look, we have to localize it. One, we engage local religious leaders, both Christian and Muslim. We engaged market leaders as the part of the selection process. We engaged civil society as part of the selection process. We engaged the National Union of Road Transport Workers at the local level.
Just to be certain you get vulnerable people.
Exactly.
Okay, now, so that brings me to this point. Today, it was flagged off in Abuja.
Yes.
When are we going to see it in other states? Because I'm sure...
No, it's not only Abuja, it was flagged off in so many states today.
Okay.
Kaduna flagged off today, Delta flagged off, Osun flagged off, or I think Oyo will be tomorrow or so. And so on and on. There are some states that were not ready, but we staggered them. Some flagging up tomorrow, some flagging up on Thursday, but at the end of the day, everybody flags off this week.
Okay, so those in FCT and those in other states, are they going to be operating at the same level? Because we've seen some programs whereby some people in certain states, are privileged to get, certain incentives, and then those in probably in the rural areas don't get such. Is it going to be even?
This is even because it's 1,000 per local government, and they're entitled to the same stipends that the government is paying all of them across board. This is the most, even program ever, because no matter the local government, no matter how rural or urban it is, 1,000 persons per local government. That is what the government is doing in this case.
All right, thank you, and well done. We hope that this would improve the state of these vulnerable people.
We have to thank President Muhammadu Buhari. This is ingenious of him, this is thoughtful of him, and no president has ever thought of the poor as this president has done.
All right, thank you, Minister, for joining us on the news tonight.
Thank you.
And thank you for your insights. All right, in other news, contrary to reports in some section of the media on the approval for 50% increase in electricity tariff, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, says no approval has been granted to electricity distribution companies for such increase in the tariff order, which took effect from 1st January 2021. However, in compliance with the provisions of the Electricity Power Sector Reform Act and the nation's tariff methodology for biannual minor review, the rates for service bands A, B, C, D, and E have been adjusted for 2 naira to 4 naira per kilowatts to reflect the partial impact of inflation and movement in foreign exchange rates. The Commission restates that the tariff for customers who are being served less than an average of 12 hours per day over a period of 1 month remain frozen and subsidized in line with the policy direction of the federal government. NEC reassures electricity consumers of its commitment to protecting them under the service-based tariff regime. Still to come, United States Air Force Secretary visits Chief of Air Staff on areas of collaboration. Listen more after the break. Please stay.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, FRIN, located in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, southwest Nigeria, has been repositioned for better service delivery to its teeming clients across the globe. The institute remains undoubtedly as a foremost research center of excellence with respect to knowledge-based forestry activities as measured by the acquired scientific breakthrough. FRIN has demonstrated that youths, women and retirees can make millions of naira practicing low-capital agriculture. These include cane, rat, rabbit, and snail farming with returns on investments regularly. Added to its feathers is a certification by NAFDAC to the FRIN C-Tone Herbal Mixture and Remedy for the management of COVID-19 related ailments as immune booster. The institute is recognized by several international agencies. Recently, it got approval for 3 biosphere reserves in Nigeria by the UNESCO, MAB, and ICC. FRIN has come to stay. The future is very bright in making the forest profitable.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it. Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Season's greetings from the National Union of Road Transport Workers and the Federal Road Safety Corps. We are reminded that the coronavirus is still out there. Be sure to observe all laid down protocols by the NCDC by observing social distancing, washing your hands regularly with soap and water, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer regularly, wear a face mask in public places. Remember that life is precious. As you go about your daily activities in 2021, obey all traffic rules and regulations. Do not drink and drive. Make sure your vehicle is in roadworthy condition. Do not overspeed or overtake recklessly. Please stay safe. Happy New Year and enjoy the best of 2021. This message is from Alhaji Tajuddin Ibikunle Baruwa, National President, National Union of Road Transport Workers. Announcer.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
The new year begins. We here at NTA cannot help but look back on a challenging year that has been filled with many lessons. The most important of all being a renewed gratitude for the continuous support of our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses and manufacturers, and you, the viewers. As we cross the finish line together, this celebration of new beginnings would simply be incomplete without you there. And we look forward to sharing the coming year with you. Here's to an excellent year ahead.
Thank you for staying. Nigeria and the United States have long been close allies, and those ties are further being strengthened with the visit of the U.S. Secretary of Air Force, Barbara Barrett, calling on the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, to discuss more areas of collaboration. Defense correspondent Najatu Tijani brings us details.
Echoing the hopes the American people have for Nigeria's progress, the 25th Secretary of the United States Air Force, Barbara Barrett, accompanied by members of the U.S. delegation, including Ambassador Mary Beth Leonard, highlights equipment operations and maintenance, among other areas of collaboration with the Nigerian Air Force.
We're conscious of challenges that the country faces, especially in the north, and we share a laundry list or a shopping list of ways that we can enhance our relationship through equipment, through training, and through a lot of additional opportunities for both operations and maintenance.
We are excited that we are making substantial progress in terms of acquisition of the Super Tucano aircraft. We are also very excited that our officers and men are in the U.S. and they are making substantial progress.
Responsible for organizing, training, equipping, and the welfare of U.S. Air and Space Forces, Secretary Barbara Barrett, herself a veteran instrument-rated pilot, says Nigeria's development has the potential to stabilize the sub-Saharan region, with the Nigerian Air Force expected to play a more critical role. Najatu Tijani, NTA News.
The current efforts of the federal government in tackling security challenges across crisis zones in the country is fast yielding desired results and gradually restoring confidence in the people. Citizens' Action for Good Governance has taken stock of the progress recorded in the past years and fostering values that will engender greater support to the security agencies in winning the war against insecurity. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Nigeria's history in the year 2020 will be incomplete without the mention of chain of events that threw part of the country into state of restlessness. The assessment, therefore, is not unconnected with the reason behind the effort that stabilizes a country and to advocate continued support to Nigerians' gallant troops in the front line.
This is the best time for Nigerians of good intentions, especially among the downtrodden, to rally around and muster greater support for all our gallant security forces in their determined effort to subdue and eliminate crime and criminalities.
Citizens' Action for Good Governance urged religious leaders to desist from making uncharitable and inflammatory statements that will undermine the unity and security of the country.
Rather than encourage Nigerians to be good citizens who are law-abiding, calling Nigeria a failed state is as good as saying the religious leaders have totally failed in their responsibilities to groom their followers to be good citizens. This government has risen on several occasions to the challenges, especially in its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The organization calls for citizens' cooperation and dedication to peace-building process, especially in northeast and northwest regions of the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NT News.
The Southeast Governors Forum has condemned in strong terms the video in circulation on social media alleging forceful eviction of Fulani herdsmen in Ebonyi State. The chairman of the forum and governor of Ebonyi State, David Umahi, in a press briefing after their virtual meeting in Abakaliki, said the video, which aims at causing tension in the country, has no truth in it. Kingsley Okoro reports.
Governor Umahi, while presenting a communique after the visual meeting by the forum, said there is no truth in the circulated video which portrays the people of Ebonyi State as not being accommodating and chasing herdsmen out of the state. While urging the masses to discountenance the message in the fake video, Governor Umahi assured other tribes in the southeast of adequate security in the zone.
A politician, as we have intelligence gathering, went to put a voice and say that it's the Igbos that are chasing away the herdsmen from Ebonyi State. Such a video went very wide. and was causing panic in other parts of the country. That is very, very much uncalled for. I want the public to discountenance it, and the Governors Forum condemn this act.
However, the forum called on leaders of the zone to rise against acts of criminality being perpetrated by desperate politicians in the area.
We do everything as governors of Southeast to, ensure that all our people are protected, the security agencies, and all the people from other regions that are living with us.
Governor Umahi emphasized that the governors of the zone will continue to support President Muhammadu Buhari's government in the interest of the zone and that of the country by extension. In Abakaliki, Kingsley Okoro, NTA News.
Now heading to the courts, Governor Gordon Obaseki of Edo State has opened his defense in the case of alleged forgery of certificate instituted against him by the All Progressives Congress, APC, at the Federal High Court, Abuja. Austin Ayebe reports.
Defense counsel Kemoza, opening his defense in the case, tendered the original primary school certificate of Governor Godwin Obaseki obtained in 1971, secondary school in 1973, and higher school certificate issued in 1976 by West African Examination Council WAEC, as well as a degree certificate from University of Ibadan and master's degree from Bayes University in Abuja. Other documents, including Form EC9, were equally tendered and admitted in evidence. The first defense witness, who is the chairman of Edo Law Reform Commission, Charity Ogubaren, giving evidence to the court that absence of the signature of the Vice Chancellor of University of Ibadan and date of issuance on a photocopy of the degree certificate attached to Form ECN submitted to INEC by the governor was an error from photocopier, as he personally went to make the photocopy. The second witness, the deputy registrar from University of Ibadan, Abayo Samuel Ajayi, led in evidence confirmed several documents in the matter, which include admission, graduation, application for collection of certificates, and original degree certificate issued to Governor Godwin Obaseki by the university. Counsel to APC, Akim Olujumi, objected to the admissibility of some of the documents, but said will argue them in his final written address. The defense team said they have 5 witnesses to call in the matter and hope to close their case before Thursday this week. From the Federal High Court, Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NT News.
And still in court, the magistrate court sitting in Abuja has ordered that better welfare facilities should be provided for the convener of Revolution Now protest, Omoyele Sowore, and 4 other defendants at the Forced Criminal Investigation Department offices in Abuja, pending their application for bail. Olabode Arewa reports that the order is sequel to the complaint by the defendants that they were being inhumanly treated at the Kuje Correctional Facility where they were being kept.
Omoyele Sowore, Peter Williams, Soyaolu Juwon, Emmanuel Bulus, and Damilare Adeola are facing a 3-count charge of alleged conspiracy, unlawful assembly, and incitement of the public to disorder by embarking on a public protest on New Year's Eve. At the resumption of trial, Defense Counsel Marshal Abubakar filed a formal application for bail pending trial, predicating this on the alleged inhuman treatment his client suffered while in the custody of the Kuje Correctional Center. The application for bail was opposed by the prosecution counsel, James Indachaba. Taking into account the health and comfort of the defendants who are still presumed innocent, the court ordered that they should be transferred to the facility or the Forced Criminal Investigation Department in Abuja for them to access better welfare.
For now, I don't think we have any serious cause for concern, although we pleaded with her to give us a shorter date because, our application was comprehensive enough.
Well, we objected to that order because we don't have the facility. We don't have an adequate facility to keep the defendant in our custody. We don't have that facility.
The presiding magistrate, Mabel Shegun Bello, has ordered the parties to furnish the court with further legal authorities in support of their arguments for bail and adjourn the matter to Friday, January 8, 2021, when the court is expected to rule on the bail application of the defendants. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
Practitioners in the legal profession in Nigeria have been told to brace up more to the challenges of improving justice dispensation in the country. Retired Chief Judge of the FCT High Court, Justice Ishaq Bello, made a call at a special valedictory court session to mark his retirement from the judiciary. Femi Okewo has the story.
Series of events lined up to celebrate Justice Ishaq Bello as a judicial officer and Chief Judge of the FCT were cancelled due to the COVID-19 situation in the country. But the formal exit through the valedictory court session went on with professional colleagues, including the Chief Justice of Nigeria and traditional representatives, assembling to show respect to the positive changes which had been instituted in the last 5.5 years of Justice Ishaq Bello being the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court. It was therefore a forum to call on the legal profession in Nigeria to re-engineer justice dispensation in the country in view of the experiences of the past.
No one is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. I came to appreciate these early as various people have been part of the story of my life.
Justice Ishaq Bello's tenure as Chief Judge of the FCT, even though just for about 5 years, some say would mark the end of an era in the court. They say the activities that impacted on the improvement of dispensation of justice, not just in the FCT but in Nigeria generally, were so many. From the FCT High Court, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Let's pause here now and go to Lagos, where Hingino has the next set of reports. Hello, Hingino. It's up to you.
Hello, Ianre. Talking health here. In the absence of a cure for COVID-19, experts say the vaccine is the most important option for prevention. This report takes a look at receptiveness of Nigerians towards the COVID-19 vaccine as the nation awaits its allocation. 2019, when COVID-19 broke out in Wuhan, China, the world did not predict that it was going to be a protracted global challenge that will bring the planet to its knees. As the virus violently dug its claws on nations, threatening human existence and economies, scientists were busy in laboratories seeking solutions. Their labor produced the vaccines currently in circulation in some Western countries. This breakthrough, however, did not come without controversies, most of which border on the viability of the COVID-19 vaccine.
I don't really believe that it's really a vaccine that can prevent the COVID-19.
Once I'm sure that it's genuine and it's from right source, why not? I can take it.
Although the approved vaccines are being applied, medical experts say researches are ongoing.
My institution, as we have said before in other fora, involved in experimental trial of our own local vaccine using the Nigerian strains.
There should also be a check on it as to regarding its safety, effectiveness, and the quality.
There have been claims by many about the side effects of the vaccine. Experts say when the vaccine gets to Nigeria, its safety and efficacy will be ascertained before it is administered to citizens. Let's now turn our attention to infrastructure. There are indications that the repair works on the third mainland bridge will be completed ahead of schedule. Dotun Ogunyemi reports that this is as a result of increased pace of work by the contractors, as 9 out of the 12 identified expansion joints have been replaced.
Daily, the third mainland bridge makes its relevance known with the number of vehicles that ply the route to and fro. Expectedly, the news of any closure or impending closure by government sends a shock wave of anxiety to Lagos residents. And for months now since the bridge has been under repair, especially under the second phase of work, motorists have lamented the disappearance of diversionary signs and lack of traffic management personnel.
Contractor is spending a lot of money in replacing the traffic signs. As we are talking, we move here in November. More than 4 times the contractor has replaced the diversion signs, and they keep on removing the diversion signs. So what they are using it for is what we don't know. We are only appealing to them that nobody should go there and remove it. It's for us to give information to people that are using the road and also to prevent accidents.
It was observed, however, that there were increased number of traffic personnel along the corridors of the alternative routes like Kostain, Ido, and Ebutemeta. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
It's now time for another break. Network News continues shortly.
Dear customer, link your Airtel number to your national identification number today. Here are easy ways you can do it. Dial *121*1# on your Airtel line and follow the prompts on the screen. Type in your 11-digit government-approved NIN number. You will receive a confirmation message to confirm your entry. You can also visit www.airtel.com.ng/NIN to link your phone number to your NIN. If you do not know your NIN, simply dial *346# to get it. No stress, no wahala.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Helen Paul! Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission? Yes, but how? Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes.
To disinfect your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for germs and stains remover. Harpic sticker formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergent and bleach.
Wow! Now I'm confused, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Do you know that 35% of every girl child and women are raped on daily basis? Some are killed in the process, some take their lives in shame, others remain emotionally dead for life. It is sad. This culture is not ours, definitely not African. How did we allow bad culture to infiltrate and take over? Even if you lack fear for the law, what of fear of God? And you, why do you cover up rape acts when it happens? Remember, a problem shared is a problem half solved. Never cover any rape act because a rapist is a murderer. It could be you or your loved ones next. Women must be treated like the prize giant they are. Say no to rape.
Glad to have you back. Now, Now, a bit on the pandemic. COVID-19 infections are increasing daily in the country, especially among health workers and corps members. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, who revealed this at Tuesday's briefing in Abuja, appealed to state governments to justify COVID-19 allocations they have received by increasing testing. Mitari Ikpe reports.
For the PTF, mass travels and nonchalance to COVID-19 protocols during the Yuletide are reflecting in the country's daily statistics. More worrisome is the growing infections among young Nigerians.
In continuation of the NYSC engagement, out of the 35,419 in batch B, 731 tested positive compared to 108 recorded during the batch A.
When we compare ourselves with 3 weeks ago, the number of new cases per week has tripled.
We appeal to all states to increase testing to enable us to know exactly where we are.
Meanwhile, vaccines are due to arrive the country soon.
We expect to receive approximately 100,000 doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine by the end of January.
The PTF appeals to health professionals, the media, and opinion shapers in the country to educate Nigerians on the safety of vaccines and the need to disregard conspiracy theories. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Akwa Ibom State Police Commissioner, Amir Geme Andrew, has ordered for an immediate investigation into a petition by Mrs. Deborah Achibong, aged 41, a mother of Don Davis in Yobong Achibong, a student of Deeper Life High School, Idoro Road, Uyu, alleging that her son, Master Don Davis in Yobong, was inhumanly treated, sexually molested, and suffered starvation against Mrs. Ndidi Solomon and 3 others. A statement by Akwa Ibom Police Public Relations, Odeko Mark Dunn, indicates that the CP, while enjoining all parties involved to exercise restraint pending the outcome of the investigation, has assured the good people of Akwa Ibom State that no stone will be left unturned in unraveling the truth. In other news, self-employment has been identified as the solution to the most talked about unemployment bedeviling the country, especially among youths and women who are the vulnerable group in the society. It's against this backdrop the senator representing Adamawa Central at the Red Chamber, Aishatu Dahiru Ahmed Binani, is collaborating with National Directorate of Employment, NDA, to train youths and women in about 368 different skills to make them productive members of the society. Bikusu Abubakar takes up the report from here.
Our Central, a metropolitan senatorial zone with a large population, comprises of 7 local government areas of the state. Insecurity and criminality kept increasing by day in the senatorial zone because of unemployment, especially among the youths, which defied all attempts to be reduced to BRS minimum. Having realized the enormity of this ugly situation on the future leaders, the senator representing the zone, Aishatu Ahmad Dahiru Binani, in collaboration with National Directorate of Employment, NDE, has trained 1,668 youths and women in various skills with the view to making them self-employed. To mark their graduation, the trainees were each presented with startup kits of particular trade they have already been trained upon.
I'll open a tailoring shop and start sewing. I will sew people's clothes and they will pay me. Well, by the grace of God, as long as I establish myself, I'll train so many people.
And by the special grace of God, I'll open shop. I'll start my business with it.
Senator Aishatu Binani said it is her desire to fight insecurity and criminality in a softer way. She urged the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the facilities, not only for their personal benefit, but the generality of the society.
This will go a long way in assisting our people to not only be self-reliant, but use it to pay school fees, hospital bills, in addition to daily sustenance.
Various speakers on the occasion lauded the effort of the lawmaker and urged others to emulate. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar.
The saying that change is permanent played out in the Ministry of Information and Culture when the 3-month journey of Nebulisa Anako, Permanent Secretary, concluded with the change of guard. Kenneth Nanim reports.
A warm handshake and a glowing smile defined the historic moment as outgoing Permanent Secretary Nebulisa Anako hands over notes to his successor, Dr. Adora Ifoma Anyamutako.
I learned a lot of things, and I enjoyed my working period here. It was like a big family. Also, within the period, I tried to put in my best.
I look forward to very good working relationship with all of you. Just as you've cooperated with my predecessor, I also want you to cooperate with me as we move the ministry to greater heights.
In all of these, Director of Human Resources Management of the ministry summarizes feelings of the staff. The watchword here is cooperation, emphasized by both parties as a tool to build and consolidate on the gains already achieved in the ministry. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Our last port of call tonight is Sokoto, where Sadia will feed us with more stories. Sadia.
Yere, glad to have you join us. The federal government is to distribute relief materials to more than 3,600 households affected by flood in Zamfara State. Director General National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Muhammad Alhaji Muhammad, said this at the distribution of the assistance in Bungudu local government area of the state. Halil Muhammad Umar now reports.
3,663 households were affected by flood in 13 local government areas of Zamfara State. This prompted the federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, to provide the relief in form of food items, building and clothing materials, among other household items to the victims, with a view to cushioning the effect of the disaster. Distribution of the items, which started recently with victims in Gusau local government area, is being conducted by officials of the National Emergency Management Agency with the support of their counterparts from the Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency and other stakeholders.
My message to them is to make the judicious use of these items.
Alhamdulillah, as you are seeing today, the ONEMA responded positively under the leadership of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari.
About 100 victims of flood in Bungudu local government area were among the latest beneficiaries of the relief materials.
I am grateful to the federal government for this assistance. It will assist me greatly. I feel fine today, and I'm friend to our president. I wish him good luck, and we enjoy the way he assists us.
The distribution of the items is billed to be extended to other affected local government areas in the state. In Gusau, Halil Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Now, the federal government's COVID-19 special intervention to boost economic activities in the country is manifesting through road rehabilitation in Kebbi State. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports that this will enhance transportation in the area. The report.
Suru Ingaski Wara Road is the alternative route for commuters from Sokoto and Kebbi states heading to southwestern states due to the deteriorating condition of Kontogwara Jaba Road. But the alternative is having its fair share of challenges due to increase in traffic, which led to its dilapidation. To change the narrative and bring succor to commuters, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency embarked on rehabilitation of the road.
Repaired with lateritic sub-base, storm base course, MC1, and even asphaltic wearing course.
This is in addition to the claiming of watchtower portions of bridge number 3 on Aragongubi Road affected by flood with protective wall and storm pitching extension of Lelaba Yeldo Road from 11 to 15 kilometers with 4 additional culverts and surface dressing of 2.5 kilometers, as well as continued stretching of Aragongubi Road with asphalt overlay. Other interventions include straightening of Birnin-Kebbi-Jega Road, which include patching of potholes and asphalt overlay of 1.7 kilometers, as well as similar efforts on Birnin-Kebbi to Sokoto border road. The projects have been completed, while approval has been given for more projects and rehabilitation of failed section of Tuga Bridge damaged by flood.
There are a lot of potholes where I saw FEMA now taking care of them. I am very delighted to see this development.
According to the road users, the agency's intervention impacted positively on socio-economic activities of the people of Kebbi State. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
Network news will continue after this message. Please stay tuned.
With gratitude to God for a life well spent with the family of Sir Joseph Onora Onwubiko of Ezemajua Kindred, Umudioka, Oka, Anambra State, announced the departure of our beloved husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, cousin, uncle, and brother, Sir Chief Joseph Onora Onwubiko, Chie Ive Meloma Otochala Ezemajua, age 95. Burial arrangements Wednesday, 6 January 2021, 5 p.m. Service of song at his compound, number 8, Ezudu Street, Akoele Square, Umudioka Village. Thursday, 7 January 2021, 6:30 a.m. Body leaves Apex Mortuary, Oka, to his compound, lying in state at his compound, 10 a.m. Funeral service at Our Saviour's Anglican Church, Emmaus House Complex, Athens Road, Oka. Interment follows immediately at his compound, Friday, 8 and Saturday, 9th January 2021. Condolence visits continue. Sunday, 10 January 2021, outing and Thanksgiving service at Our Saviour's Anglican Church, Oka. Announcer, Chief Charles Nnamdi Onwubiko, Obuewi Onodugo for the family.
Welcome back. The death has been announced of the Sarakin Gabas of Adamawa and Waziri of Garakida, Malam Dauda Burma. He was aged 80. Before his death, he was an elder statesman, an astute politician, a former Minister of Education, and one-time presidential aspirant. Late Dauda Burma was a patriotic Nigerian who believed in the unity of the country.
It's been built. I feel very bad because I could see how people worked, interfaced with each other, struggled with each other in a very friendly, competitive way to get us to independence.
Malam Dauda Burma passed on Tuesday, January 5th, 2020 at his Asokoro home in Abuja. He is survived by his family. President Muhammadu Buhari has reacted to the demise of the former Minister of Education and Sarakin Gabas of Adamawa, Alhaji Dauda Burma. President Buhari, while expressing his condolences, described Dauda Burma as one of the finest and most decent politicians of our time, a disciplined and respectable politician who gave politics a good image through personal examples. The president prayed Allah to forgive his shortcomings, reward his good deeds with paradise, and grant his family the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. The death has occurred of Hajia Barira Umar, the mother of Umar Sani, ex-spokesperson of the former Vice President Namadi Sambo. Hajia Barira, who died at the age of 93, passed on in the early hours of today. The late Hajia was a community leader, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. She survived by the Umar Sani and 4 grandchildren. And that's Network News tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. Please remember, the fight against rape and rapists will not end until that evil act comes to an end. Good night.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the U-Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. Application for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA. Of our fathers.
I believe we have fought one civil war too many in this country. So those who experience it will run away from it.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
The new year begins. We here at NTA cannot help but look back on a challenging year that has been filled with many lessons. The most important of all being a renewed gratitude for the continued support of our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses and manufacturers, and you, the viewers. As we cross the finish line together, this celebration of new beginnings would simply be incomplete without you there. And we look forward to sharing the coming year with you. Here's to an excellent year ahead.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youth, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation. The counsel of our fathers.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days. You probably do not know what it is.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Here say them they rape about 35% of them girl pikin, and even them women safe. Some of them they even die in the process. Emotional trauma uncle, it they make some of them be like say they no dey this one again, they don't go, but they still they live like ghosts. Some of them shame don't kuku make them go kill themselves. It no good though. This no be our culture. It no fit be the African way. Why we can't allow this kind of yet enjoy body with us so they loud well. If you know they fear law where man put, you know they fear Baba God there. You self, you where they cover mouth so you see many one they happen. You know what here when the Oyibo talk say problem where they bring come out, they solve and sharply. Remember, person wey feel rape, if it's a key person, oh, if it be you, if it be your pikin, if it be person them where you love well. So make we learn they carry women then like diamond where we be. No grief for rape, oh.
Happy New Year to you. It is great to be in 2021. Thank God we made it. We, however, can only move on in the new year by reflecting on events of the year outgone corporately and personally to help us plan and implement for new heights. On this edition of Dateline 360, we take on different sectors of the economy, assessing performances in the year 2020. My name is Omotola Omojala. Thanks for tuning in. We start with finance and economy, and correspondent Leah Katung Babatunde reports that at the start of 2020, there was a 3.6% growth projection in the Nigerian economy. That was not to be, as coronavirus came along and threw the global economy into a deep recession. Nigeria was not also spared. In a review of the Nigerian economy in the year 2020, she reports that it was not all gloomy, though.
It was a year that started with high hopes that the economy will move only one way: positive growth, with all projections seeing Nigeria's GDP rise by an average of 3% by the end of 2020. Then the pandemic, which started in Wuhan, China, soon spread like wildfire, and all projections went south, including prices of crude oil, Nigeria's major source of revenue. The 2020 budget had to be reviewed twice to reflect the prevailing fundamentals, with lockdown slowing trade and adversely affecting all aspects of the economy.
For MSMEs, by reducing their taxes and also giving a lot of tax incentives to industry, is all designed to help industry to grow. The monetary authorities have provided several packets of funding that are low cost and designed to be easy to access, to help companies get working capital, renew their inventory, as well as also expand their production lines.
In the second quarter of 2020, Nigeria's GDP fell by 6.1%. This, however, got trimmed to 3.4% by the end of the third quarter, a remarkable comeback, experts note.
We all know the Nigeria background. Where are we as a country? Hopefully heading out of recession.
In other indicators, inflation rose to 14.89% year-on-year in November. Crude oil prices as of December 24 stood at $50.99 a barrel. Exchange rate 379 naira to the dollar. Excess crude account $72.411 million with a negative balance of trade. Notably, the government injected funds massively to reflate the economy, build infrastructure, provide palliatives for the vulnerable, and instituted survival funds for MSMEs affected by the pandemic. All these are part of the Economic Sustainability Plan, ESP. So far, about 500,000 have benefited. The payroll support scheme has paid about 350,000 beneficiaries. Almost 166,000 of 300,000 artisans have benefited from the Artisan and Transport Scheme, and the Corporate Affairs Commission is ramping up numbers to register 250,000 new businesses free of charge. By the end of December, an approximated 400,000 payroll support beneficiaries received salaries for October to December, while structures have been put in place to commence the general grants and the guaranteed offtake scheme. The Nigerian Stock Exchange's all-share index closed the year 2020 with a 50.03% appreciation year-on-year, hitting the 40,000 psychological line. It is a rally fueled by local investments, as foreign investors withdrew 433.15 billion naira in 11 months from the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The NSE states that domestic transactions increased by 53.51% in the month of November from the numbers recorded in October.
You know, the markets are forward indicators of what will happen in the economy. So the equity markets just reflecting that. I must say that some of the policy changes I made reference to include the CBN policy that domestic institutional investors should stop participating in the OMO markets.
Nigeria's tax collections have also increased despite the effects of the pandemic, with the FRS outperforming its 2020 target and non-oil receipts rising between 60 and 70% mid-year. The Companies and Allied Matters Act, KAMA 2020, was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari on August 7, 2020. The Finance Bill 2020 was also passed. President Muhammadu Buhari had in a letter dated 25th November 2020 said the passage of the finance bill would support the implementation of the 2021 budget through key reforms in taxation, customs, excise, fiscal and other laws. The National Assembly on December 21 passed the 2021 appropriation bill of 13.5 trillion naira, 505 billion naira higher than the figure submitted by the executive with the National Social Investment Program responsible for the major increment. It is the second successive time that the National Assembly is passing the budget within this time, as the country strives to remain with the January to December fiscal calendar. These experts believe will boost the confidence of investors and attract inflows of tangible and intangible investments following President Buhari's signing of the budget-tagged budget of economic recovery and resilience into law. Indications are that the economy will emerge from the recession sooner than anticipated and return to the path of accelerated growth, especially with the continental single market opening up opportunities. Leah Katung, Baba Tunde, for Dateline 360.
From a general economic outlook, we move to specifics. One of the worst hit sectors by the coronavirus pandemic in 2020 is the aviation sector. Emmanuel Anyimiro, who follow the events in the sector closely, asserts that the pride of air transportation as a facilitator of the flow of investments, goods and passengers across cities and nations was threatened in 2020. He reports that the sector slumped into its worst era with huge losses, the full extent of which the International Air Transport Association says may never be known.
The airspace is opened again for people and goods to crisscross the globe after the total halt for months due to COVID-19. At the beginning of 2020, the only concern of air travelers in Nigeria was perhaps the usual disruption of flight activities during hazy weather conditions, leading to delays, cancellations, or rescheduling. But then, COVID-19 proved to be more than weather disruptions, and for 6 months, the skies were deserted. Jobs were called by airline operators to reduce costs. Other services across the aviation chain, like hotel and tourism, car hire and bureau de change, went on compulsory break.
This is the worst hit in the aviation industry ever. We've had similar cases, but not like this. And we pray we don't have this experience ever again.
But then, aviation again became the only fastest means for transporting medical protective items to various parts of the globe, with Nigeria also getting her share through donations from foreign countries, agencies and individuals.
Our collaboration with the government, and we also have, as you know, established a basket fund, and part of that will also be commodities. So yes, we expect more support from the United Nations.
How battered was the industry, particularly when airline operators had to carry out routine checks even when the aircraft were parked without them making profits?
At one time, our revenue was down to about 3%, and if FAN had 3%, I believe almost all the other aspects of the industry, handling, airlines, and others are also experiencing similar low percentages.
While passengers are still in the euphoria of air travel, which started again after the lockdown, suddenly a spike in airfares has caused the excitement to cease.
Going at the rate of 109,000 for business class, simply because there is no space for economy.
Despite the difficulty in 2020, the Southeast geopolitical zone had risen to celebrate as the rehabilitation of Akano Ibiam International Airport Enugu runway was completed and reopened.
I never believed that what we are seeing today would happen and happen with such rapidity.
We are proud to say that this project is indeed a testimony to Mr. President's commitment to the provision of infrastructure in the country.
The aviation industry is still nursing the injuries from the lockdown and also concerned about the uncertainty in 2021. One thing is, however certain, the aviation history books will not forget 2020. Emmanuel Ayemiro for Dateline 360.
And while some count their losses, the year 2020 was indeed a blessing to others. One of such is the information and communication technology sector. 2020 announced the ICT sector and its relevance to not only the Nigerian economy, but almost every sphere of life. While COVID-19 in 2020 shut down the country, the ICT sector comparatively soared as everything and everyone depended on the sector in one form or the other. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson has the review.
Global predictions and projections had it that ICT will do well in 2020, but no one saw it as being the lifeline. COVID-19 was already wreaking havoc in Wuhan, China. It was not expected to spread like wildfire across the world, halting everything. ICT became the savior of a sort, with online being the safest means of doing many things. Nigeria was not an exception. The inaugurations of many ICT skills centers across the country and digital trainings of youth and civil servants came in handy.
We want to ensure that in the next 10 years, we don't have a traditional or manual Nigeria, but rather a digital Nigeria. Each and every Nigerian is encouraged to key into a digital Nigeria.
Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, especially this